Good, very young.
Hurricane on its way.
Okay, welcome to the World of Ability. Welcome to the World of Ability. We do here every Saturday at 1 o'clock Central. And we have some great guests here. So Debbie, do you want to kick us off today?
Yes, I will. Again, welcome. The World of Ability channel represents the fact that people with disabilities also have abilities that they can offer to the world. So very, very excellent organization that hosts this. So I'm gonna talk just for a minute, Precious, before I turn it over to you, because I do want people to know that there is an entrepreneur summit on the Great Discovery on Thursday, October 16th, this coming Thursday, and it starts at noon on Eastern Time. It's going to be a variety of people that have courses on the Great Discovery explaining various facets of their courses, and 10 minutes each, and then 5 minutes if people have questions. So I put the information in there, and I thought I had saved the chat so I could post, I mean, not the chat, save the contact, the information to go register for it. And somehow that didn't take. So while Precious and later on Marianne are talking, I'll continue looking for that. But if you would like to be an affiliate for a year for $1, you can register that when you register for the summit, or you can just register for the summit. All right, Precious. I said I was going to introduce you, but I really don't know how to introduce you. You're going to have to tell us about yourself. But I do know that I love the name Precious.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And I'm not sure the format. Am I really just supposed to talk and share my story, or and
Please
how long
do.
okay, and how long do I have?
2 hours.
Oh, 2 hours. Okay. I won't take
You
up
don't
the
have to
whole.
fill, you don't have to fill the whole 2 hours.
That's okay. We'll have a format where you can ask questions and it'll be interactive. But first of all, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm here in Maryland, Bethesda, Maryland, right outside of DC. And I moved to Maryland 10 years ago, May of 2015, is when I moved to Maryland and left Louisville, Kentucky. Does anyone know where Louisville, Kentucky is? No, it's about 400 miles from Washington, D.C. And May of 2015, I can't believe that I'm actually celebrating 10 years of being in the DMV, and I'm so grateful that I have done some amazing things, but it was hard at first. And so, whenever you go to do anything different and outside the normal, expect it to be there some challenges, but you can also overcome challenges. And I'm going to walk you through how I was able to overcome some challenges. And what I like to say about my personal life is that I was breaking every chain, every stronghold, every negative thing that anyone has ever said about me. So let's go back to 1981. I was born around October 28th. October 28th is my birthday. I'll be young, 24. Now I'm just playing. But, I've been around for a while. And I'm originally from Jeffersonville, Indiana. My mother is the last of 17, and I am the firstborn of hers and out of three. and she named me Precious Jewel. And back then, with her being the last of 17, there was a lot of family trauma that was passed down. And with my mother being a very young mother at the time, mental health was not a thing that we looked into, and a lot of anger and frustration. And there was a lot of complex things that happened, but I was born to my mom at age 17. And although she named me Precious Jewel, she did not like me. And you say, well, how can you not like your baby? But my mother did not like me at the time, and I am a survivor of child abuse. One of the things that occurred in my life at that time was when I was 6 years old. I was hit by a moving vehicle on a street called 10th Street in Jeffersonville, Indiana. And when I woke up, I remember um, I remember the car accident, and then I remember um, what happened. And at that moment, and this brace for impact, but my mother had told me to run across the street. And I did so. I was trying to please my mother, make my mother happy. And I ran across the street and I got hit by a moving vehicle, woke up in a coma where I had been in a coma for over 6 weeks. I woke up in a coma. I was in a coma, and they had told me that they did not think that I would survive. They did not think I would survive. I was not supposed to survive the accident, but there was something in me that kept pushing. And that same little girl that survived that accident also survived all type of traumatic things. But the accident, it could have taken me to my resting place. But I'm still here. And so today you're going to be encouraged. I'm going to share more and more about the story. And then I'm going to encourage you and inspire you that regardless of challenges and what people say you are in the doctor's report, if you believe and you continue to fight and take good care of yourself, you can do amazing things. So let's go back to 1986 or 87 in the car accident. My mother comes up. Yeah,
Can I ask a question?
sure.
So, you're probably going to tell this anyway, so sorry, but did what kind of what kind of ongoing issues did you have after the car accident? I'm assuming there were some.
Yeah. You jump in
Oh,
fast.
I'm sorry.
I promise to share
Okay.
the challenges that I had to face from the car accident as an adult and also as a teenager and just kind of going through development, right? So I was 6 years old when I got hit by the car, and but I was 10 years old when I got a double hip replacement. And I was at the gym. I can remember being at the gym, and they said to me that I shouldn't have been walking, I shouldn't have been running, I shouldn't have been playing. But my walk was a little bit off because of the car accident. Later, come find out I needed double hip replacement at the age of 10. By the age of 12, I had a new double hip replacement because after the car accident, I was not um, treated or followed up after the car accident due to neglect and abuse. So after the car accident, I wind up having two surgeries. And every time they told me that I shouldn't have been walking, I shouldn't have been making it, and I shouldn't have lived. Um, but one of the things I want to point out to you all is that as a 6-year-old being hit by a car, it's a you're developing at that age, and so you. I remember not being able to remember things, but I knew I had to go to school. I knew that school was important. I also knew that I needed to make it just because I needed to make it. But I didn't really understand that at the time. But I was one of those kids that was a daredevil on my own. I would go outside and jump on monkey bars and flip when nobody was watching, but then I would fall. But I would keep getting up because I didn't, in my mind, I didn't think that I had any disabilities, but I certainly did from the car accident. Um, and as I went through um, being a kid, a lot of trauma still. Trauma stopped around age 9 or 10, and then we moved to Louisville, Kentucky. And then at Louisville, Kentucky, I became a gang member. I wanted to try to fit in with my peers because I knew I was different. But being a gang member at the time, that was the way for me to try to figure out how I could take care of my mom and my siblings. And we needed food. My mom was always sick all the time, and you know, it was just it wasn't there. And I knew as myself that I would need to be the leader and try to fill in the gap. And this is at age 10. And so as time progressed, I wound up being pregnant at the age of 15. Had my firstborn in 1997, and due to date rape. So at this point in my life, I'm very I'm very adjusted to trauma, and it was not a big deal. No one made it a big deal that I was 15 years old with a baby. Um, um, and it was everything was kind of like my fault at the time. But I had looked at that baby and I said, I'm going to do the best I can, and we're going to get through this together. And as I'm in ninth grade through high school, there's this thing that I have a baby and I have to go to an alternative school. But I was falling behind on my courses because I wasn't at school a lot because one we were in I was still in trauma, still going through all the trauma stuff, and then being a mom, and then I had a learning disability. I think I was diagnosed with a learning disability after the car accident. Um, and the way I knew I had a learning disability because I was not in the same class as my other classmates at the time. And so I knew I had a learning disability, but homework was very important to me during that time. I just still knew that I needed to do my homework. And so as time passed, I wound up having another baby at 23 years old. And this one was a domestic violence. Now, remember, have always seen domestic violence and trauma and just, really tough things to deal with in life. And it became a part of my everyday person, a trauma. And when I had my 23-year-old, I was running with one and two, a 7-year-old and then a baby. I was running around trying to keep us safe. And so we entered into a domestic violence home and just trying to keep safe from a domestic violence relationship. And as time started to progress, I was very much a hands-on mom. I would always take the girls to PTAs and football games and try to create a better life for us than what we had at that time. And I was very much a entrepreneur and would always kind of network and meet new people. But there was one special thing about me when I try to go into these business areas. I didn't know how to speak. I didn't know how to articulate. I didn't know how to tell a story or put a complete sentence together due to the abuse that I had suffered and went through. And I wasn't making any headway, but I still knew I was different. So I wind up, and I'm probably in my early 20s at this point, trying to figure out my life. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I was always dealing with significant challenges, and then not being able to speak and articulate what it is that I was trying to communicate, even made things a little bit more difficult. And I want to say on my 18th birthday, pulls around, and my mother puts me out on my birthday at 18 with a baby. Because I kind of skipped a whole lot of stuff. She puts us out, and at this point in time in my life, I say, I don't know where I'm going to go, what I'm going to do, and how I'm going to do it. But we wind up having a home, and then I attempted to move to Atlanta and try to get away from the drama that was in Louisville. I attempted to move away to Louisville, Kentucky. To Atlanta, Georgia, and I couldn't make it because I had no skills at all. I knew that I needed to graduate from high school, but that was the only thing that I had done. But I was still hungry for um, betterment of quality of life. And I knew I had a baby girl to take care of. And now at this point at 23, I had two baby girls to take care of. And I didn't know how that was going to happen. But I always figured, well, my mom had, when I was younger, she always made us go to school. The three of us go to school and learn and read. And she was very big on church and faith. So I knew how to read, I knew how to write, and I knew how to have faith. So that was some things that got me through a lot of challenging times. And so then as I progressed into adulthood, into early 30s, I'm working and networking and meeting people, and I start realizing I don't know how to speak. And people probably think because of my voice and the youngness of my voice that I sound very young and immature. But I didn't let that stop me because I was still networking with people, and I didn't think that anything was wrong with me at all because I didn't think like that. So I would go and network and tell people my story, the one that I just shared with you all, and I met an amazing person named, well, I ain't gonna say her name, but she 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 took me under her wing. I was working at a corporate office where I was processing payroll at a large speed. And remember, this is the young girl who also could not and was not supposed to move forward. So I was processing payroll at a large speed, and I had a knack for being in leadership. Being in leadership was something I wanted to do. And so um, I forgot to tell you all, I graduated from college, and I had my girls were young, but at the time I was in night school at college, and I was really feeling like I need to go to school. Education was the key to me being successful. So I still have this very ambitious spirit about getting my education and learning how to continue to read and write sentences and things of that nature. So I was apart from my girls a lot because I was chasing the career that we all seem to chase sometimes. And so this is 2010, just to give you some context. 2010, and um, I wound up working at a big church. I used to be a finance clerk for an urban church where we had six services, and I was only being paid $10 an hour at the time. And I was like, oh, this is not going to be able to give me the life that I think that I deserve. And so I kept going. I kept going to like networking meetings and meeting new people. And then I wind up being at Rest Care where I processed payroll and wind up meeting a Miss Nancy. I said I wasn't gonna say her name, but she told me at one point in time, whenever I get to where I need to go, turn around and give it back. And so I always give her credit for where credit's due because she took me under her wing and she inspired me to continue to move forward. And then I wound up writing my book, pulling back the covers on Amazon 10 years ago. I wrote the book over a bottle of whiskey and was crying my life out because I could not understand why I was still in the same predicament that I had been in all of my life. I could not understand it. So I took my therapy and healing to writing. So I wrote the book and I put it in the atmosphere. And then I just hoped for a better future. What happened next is about to blow your mind. I applied as I was um, at the school, as I was learning the hard knocks of life and networking. I was applying for positions outside of Louisville, Kentucky. I was applying for human resources management positions. And I worked in payroll, but I volunteered in human resources. So I didn't really have the expertise that I needed to actually get a human resources job. And in human resources, well, in Kentucky, what I was noticing on the landscape, because I was in the human resources chapters, and we would always talk about numbers and the state of the economy in Louisville, Kentucky. And it bothered me a lot because I knew that I had made some mistakes with some people, right? And then I had my two girls that I was responsible. I felt indebtedly responsible for their future and how things would work out for them. And so I applied for a job here in Maryland, and I got the job. And now I get the job, and I am about to leave Louisville, Kentucky, because I don't really have a place to live if I stay. And then I got the job. And my executive director at the time, he hired me to be an HR specialist for a large company serving individuals with disabilities. And so I was his right hand person. He was very mean to me. I was very much still immature, but I knew that I needed something different than what Louisville, Kentucky was offering. And he told me, he said, "This is not the training school. I'm not here to teach you." And I understood what he meant by that because I didn't have the professional training. I just had someone kind of tell me, you know, you might want to look into human resources management. And I thought, okay, sure. Because remember, I'm that little kid that figured I could do anything and anything I could do it. And I was going to do it. And he said, "Well, Miss Middleton, I need you here on May 15th. And if you can't be here, then we have to rescind your offer." And so I thought, oh my goodness, this is my opportunity to close the chapter and move forward into a whole different life. And I did that. I left the girls behind for like 6 weeks because they were not in school. I mean, they still were in school, fifth grade and 12th grade at the time. And I got a lot of flack from my family, a lot. They were mad with me because who do I think I am to move out of Louisville, Kentucky? Who do I think I am? And I didn't know who I thought I was. I just thought that I could do what people thought I couldn't do. So I accepted the job. I moved in with my cousin, and I'm on a toddler bed. I moved into being homeless, living with my cousin in PG County on a toddler bed. And I'm like, I got to do better than this. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. And at the same token, I'm working with my executive director, and he's very mean, very abrasive. And I think he was being that way because he wanted me to mature very quickly. And so I was thrown into HR specialist and also into a leadership that made me, sad. I didn't want to come to work. And so, but I did. I stood in there and I kept singing because I'm one of them people who have a lot of faith. So I said, "Well, God, thank you for my training period." I kept saying that. Thank you for like I was excusing this bad behavior, right? I'm like, "Oh God, it's okay. I need a job. I need to be here." And so I learned all things human resources at that time. And that was May of 2015. And I am, well, Mr. Deepu, his name was Mr. Deepu at the time, he passed away. And I lost my mind because he was the only person that believed in me in a way, right? Although he was mean, he believed in me, and he was telling me things like, you need to take your children out and let them explore the mall in DC's, the Smithsonian's. And so he would plant little seeds in my mind. And then he also was very corrective. He said, because I have a sweet personality, a sweet demeanor, and he people would say, "Oh, hey, sweetie, how are you, sweetie?" Things like that. And I'm an HR executive at that time, and he would say, "You're not sweet. You should be Miss Middleton." And so he taught me how to respect myself. Even if people didn't respect me, he was telling me that I deserved respect, right? And so when he passed away, it, it, it really made me feel like I was in a space by myself. And how was I going to make it now? And I wound up leaving that job in 2016. They had a new infrastructure, but that's when I realized that, because the question there at the time was, "How did you get here?" But I knew at home in Louisville, Kentucky, I had put in so much work. I was a volunteer for a local SHRM chapter where I raised money twice in a year. I mean, two times consecutively, twice. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna take a deep breath and ask you all, do you have any questions up to this point?
I do.
Yes.
So going back, this is sort of for advice on somebody that might be in the situation that you were in when you moved to Atlanta,
Yeah.
where they were trying to get out of their current circumstances.
Yeah.
And have you thought about anything that could have happened that would have made it so that you could stay in Atlanta? I mean, what kind of support are you aware of right now that you maybe weren't aware of at that time?
I was very young, right? I was just getting out of high school. And the support, I had an aunt that lived in Atlanta, but what I was aware of that I wish I would have known back then would have been my credit. I didn't have good credit. I didn't have good finances. I didn't have a foundational finance status. Um, and so, if those foundational things are not right, then it's hard to continue to move forward. So I would suggest to always have your foundation good if you can, and go back and correct those things so that you can give yourself a platform to move forward. Is that
And
good?
are there any nonprofits that you're aware of now that you weren't aware of then that might have been supportive for you?
Yes, absolutely. Dress for Success DC. And we're gonna get into the DC and what happened when I got here. But Dress for Success DC, they help. Their organization is for women that needs clothing and career clothing and dress. Things to make her feel good when she's going to work. So, Dress for Success DC. I know the Goodwill Industries in Louisville, Kentucky, served various populations, and so I'm not sure if the Goodwill here or where you all are may help, but those are some nonprofits I would think of just by thinking about what your question is.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank
Does
you.
anyone else have a question?
Yeah, and the reason I couldn't stay in Atlanta was my daughter had, in the school systems, you have to be a certain age by a certain time. And her birthday, she had just missed the deadline. So I couldn't afford daycare at the time. And so that's why we had to come back to Louisville, Kentucky. Um, right, as a young person trying to move and get away from the drama and trauma, did not realize that credit was important, and then having a good financial stability was important.
Mhm. All right. Well, I commend you for putting your child's education. I mean, part of it I know was not being able to afford the daycare, like you said. Daycare is expensive,
Yeah.
but still commend you for carrying forward like your mom. You said your mom made you go to school all the time.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
education was that was sort of a beacon of hope for me because when when I was at school, I got fed. I was kind of reassured that I was going to be okay, even though I was in the smaller classes. I had a sense of community, so sense of community is really important as well. Like say you're going through some challenges, you may want to have some community that you could just talk to about, things that you may be going through. Is
yeah,
what I would suggest as well.
excellent. Okay, so you go ahead and continue with your
I know
story.
everyone's hungry for the rest, right? So that was sort of like the first book that I wrote and pulling back the covers. And now we're in chapter 2 of a book that I haven't written yet. So, but you all get preview of what's coming. So we're here. We're here. The girls finally does come into town with me. My oldest daughter winds up leaving the nest, and I lost my mind again because my whole life had been around raising this young baby at that time. My life was I was almost like a baby doll with my daughter. And so I held her really close to my hip, and I found my identity in being a good mom. That made me happy and proud. And when she left to go to college, I don't know if anyone on the line has grandkids or children that's about to go to college. It's almost like you lose a piece of you. And when she left, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do now? But she went and left to Virginia State University. And so it was just me and my youngest daughter at that point in time. And my youngest daughter was entering middle school. And I was working on my career in human resources, and she was in middle school. And June of 2016 rolls around, and this is after My boss had died, and I had an emergency surgery. And here I am in Maryland. I had left, we got our own apartment. um, we moved from PG County, got our own apartment in October of 2015. And then we stayed there up until maybe June 2016, not very long. And we became fully blown homeless. And I remember getting into the DC area, and I could remember like this sign that came up that said, uh, a household of one or two, you had to make a salary of 150K. And I was like, I'm gonna make 150K. Because I didn't see myself that way. I was like, I'm gonna make 150K because I knew my salary at the time wasn't 150K at all. And we became homeless, and we wind up moving. Me and my youngest daughter wind up moving with my friend that I had talked to all the time, and she invited us in. But then after that, um, she told me we had to go, and it was like the day before Thanksgiving or the day after Thanksgiving, and she was very mean about it, and she put all our stuff on the porch. And here I am, in 400 miles away from Louisville, Kentucky, and moved away from the family I do have in the area. And I didn't know what we was gonna do. And I had 25 cents, maybe like enough to get a Uber at the time. And so what happened then is I called the shelter line, and the shelter line had 2 beds for me and my daughter. And I was like, oh my goodness, 2 beds left right after the holiday. And so we went into the shelter, and my daughter was going into 9th grade at this point. Um, so starting high school, she was very ashamed of our situation, and I too was ashamed, but I knew that it was going to get better. I didn't know how, but I knew it was going to get better. And so we made a pact between ourselves. She said, Mom, I'm going to graduate from high school. And I said, well, I'm going to graduate from being homeless, and we're going to be fine. And my oldest daughter is gone, right? She's gone to Virginia, and we're homeless. And there was a lot of things happening at the shelter. People were very mean to me, and I say people were mean to me because I was different. At the time, I was still working. Um, I was still working as a human resources professional, so I still had to dress the part, right? I had to dress the part. I had to go to work. I had to be on time. I had to look like I belonged in HR. And so, people were mean to me because I was kind of different at that point. I was different than other people in the shelter, and it's okay to be different. But sometimes when you're different, it makes you stand out. And so I had to be very cautious about not responding to some of the personal attacks that I was receiving, because that wasn't going to get me far, right? If I was to respond to some of the attacks that I was receiving because I was looking different and I talked different and I was in their domain, sort of like, and I just had to keep calm. So whenever you're under like any challenges and people are challenging what you're doing and what you're saying, you got to keep calm, keep yourself motivated, and respond accordingly. So I did, because that moment in life would have been critical, right? If I would have responded in a way that could have got us put out of the shelter, then what was I going to do? So the pact between me and my daughter was that she would graduate from high school and I would graduate from being homeless, and we did just that. But during that time, I had met Success for DC, Washington DC. And that's when I started to realize I had a platform of empowerment. So I'm homeless, but I'm transitioning out of being homeless. I'm living almost like in a townhouse with college kids, and they don't want me there because I'm like the mom in the house. And so let me see what I'm trying to explain. That's when I met Dress for Success DC. And Dress for Success DC was like, oh my gosh, you overcome all that stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, I did. I didn't think anything of it because I'm focused on education and moving forward in life. And they gave me a platform. There was this box called the Ready Box, and the Ready Box uh, had dress like clothes in it for me to go to work at the hospital, and it was sort of like a new start. And they did all these like photo shoots and stuff, and then they wound up having me in Lane Bryant magazine. If anybody know what Lane Bryant magazine is, if you, like you're a plus size woman, they have plus size apparel, and I'm in a magazine, uh, kind of like being a model in the magazine, and I'm like, oh my goodness, and they're celebrating my accomplishments. But nobody ever celebrated my accomplishments before. So I'm like, this is kind of weird. I was feeling like this is kind of weird. But when you have accomplishments, you deserve it. You deserve to be celebrated. You deserve to be loved and supported, right? No matter what. So now I'm in the magazine, and now I'm starting to be asked to speak, but I'm still doing like human resources as well. I'm working, and we're doing all this stuff. Like my daughter is going to school. We're trying to get out of homelessness. I can remember one of the incidents that kind of stood out in my head was every morning we had to be out of the shelter, especially on the weekends. We had to be out of the shelter at, at 6 a.m. In the morning, and we didn't have a plan. Where was we going to go? And I remember the shelter driver was like taking all the kids off the bus, and he there was a baby on the bus, and I'm like, "What about the baby?" That was my question to the driver, like, "What are you doing with the baby?" And he was like, "Well, the baby got to learn too." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So at that time, I was blessed enough to have some income, so we got a hotel room, right? The three of us. I didn't know the baby and the mother, but I always felt like I needed to give back because I was in a position to give back. So whenever you're in a position, it's always good to give back to someone who may need it, because that's where blessings come from. That's how I feel. So um, I'm giving back. I'm still giving back. We're in a shelter. We're all in a shelter, and it's hard. Life is hard. Um, but now the pandemic kind of comes around, and the corporation that I'm working for at the time, it closes down. It was another facility for individuals who had disabilities. I was the HR manager there, and the organization closed down because there's no funding. And here I am trying to make it again. So me and my daughter, we wound up staying in this townhouse, and then we wind up getting our own apartment again. We get our own apartment, and then we stay there for several years. She winds up graduating from high school. So my oldest daughter is a graduate from Virginia State University as a teacher, and then my youngest daughter graduated from Bethesda Chevy Chase High School, if you know anything about the Maryland area, and she's a teacher too. And so they are both teachers now. And as I was progressing into my HR career, I worked at a hospital during the pandemic, and then I wind up working at where I was a benefits administrator, and I did all things benefits. So benefits are your when you get paid from your employer, you have benefits that like health insurance, dental insurance, vision, etc. And
Precious, can I interrupt you for just a
yeah,
minute?
sure.
Can we come back to you in a minute? I just want to be mindful of other people's time.
Oh,
And there
okay. I
have
don't know
been
the
some people
format.
that have been waiting for a while in case they should have to jump off. But we can come back to the end of your story in a little bit. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't know the format, so I didn't mean
No,
to
that's
be
fine.
rambling.
That's yeah. So Maura, you've been on since the beginning. Can you introduce yourself and tell us what we need to know about the brain, etc.?
Actually, to be honest with you, I have to go in 10 minutes. I thought this was ending at 3.
Okay.
And I don't want to take time up if I have to leave. So I'll be happy to be in the audience. Thank you.
Okay. I mean, you don't want to just give us a 5 minute.
I don't feel it's fair that I would take up time and then leave. It doesn't
Oh,
seem
no,
fair to
that's
me.
fine.
So,
People come, the format
so
is people
thank
come
you.
in and out all the time.
No,
So
I
you,
just
you,
don't feel comfortable. I'd rather just listen.
So
okay.
sorry.
Thank you.
All right, that's fine. Debbie, do you want to introduce yourself? And everybody make sure you put your contact information in the chat. So Precious, be sure that you do that.
Okay.
Thanks, Debbie. I'm just here to listen as well, but I'm Debbie Miller with Legal Shield and ID Shield, and I love helping families and small businesses have access to law firms in their area to keep them protected, help them to know their rights, whatever they might need, help their business as well to start off in the right foot and stay that way. So thank you. It's great to meet you, Precious. Thanks, Debbie.
All right.
Back to
Thank
you.
you.
Marianne, do you want to go in case you have a weather alert that puts you off?
Well, I'm actually in the pool, but I'm gonna take this time to highlight Maury. I met Maury through many people, and he has mornings with Maury on Mondays. I joined him. He helped out so many people learning how to use Chat GPT to create their own app. He's also on the No More 9 to 5 Club, and he's just full of information as a with the neuroscience. And yeah, be safe, Alex. So I just wanted to shine the light on him. He's really helped me, and also he's edited my book trailers with sound quality, with the AI generated sound voicing on my book trailers. So I really appreciate all his feedback. So if you guys get a chance, join Mondays with Maury. And I'm Marianne of Waikiki. I'm the author and Apple game developer of the Acts of Kindness series, featuring 200 Folkman as puppets. The book series are written for animation movies with sign language characters and a soundtrack by Lucy and the Perfect Wave. And we got the whole series for ocean cleanup, anti-bullying, climate change. I'm so grateful that nonprofit TV, Anthony Sorelli, is on with us. He is now showcasing my book trailers, such as Rabbit Acts of Kindness, No Bully, as October is anti-bullying month. And yesterday was World Mental Health Day. So we gifted the world a free ebook download, and I sent it to you guys as well. If you didn't get a chance to read it, I can send you the book itself so you can read it this month, so we can have the topic about anti-bullying. And all classroom teachers in United States of America can receive copies of the books from donorschoose.org. That's donorschoose.org. So we have books, we have coloring books for the ASL. You can see I got a YouTube channel featuring Chelsea, the courageous sign language chicken, Eve, the finger spelling bumblebee, for Harry, the hard of hearing rabbit, who gets bullied, but he learns to stand in his power through an enchanted tree. And what the bullies didn't know is they didn't know sign language, so they made fun of him. And at the end of the party, or end of the book, we have a first birthday luau party, as well as a rainbow parade. So everybody wins. And it's up to you guys to take advantage with yourself or your family, your kids, grandkids. We have 500 million people worldwide, especially military moms and dads coming home from being of service who can't hear their own children or grandchildren. So these are great educational stories that we're getting out through nonprofit TV and On the Mark TV. And so good things are happening this year. And I want to give you an update. Leon is in Waikiki, Hawaii. I'm in San Carlos, Mexico. We're preparing for not one, but 2 hurricanes. Priscilla and Rodney is a direct shoot to us. So the boat is anchored, the captain's away. We're just getting organized here, but Leon is over there and CNN is doing a documentary with him in the Coffee with a Cause airline ambassadors to do a fundraisers over there at the Ilokai, where he used to live on a boat over there. And he met Bruce the Bird Guy. So we'll have an update with Bruce. So I don't want to say he was in Vegas with my friend Bob. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but we want Bruce the Bird Guy from Hawaii to talk story with us. We want to hear what Leon's up to. They sent me photos, and he also met with our editor, Lori Barth. So they're all networking, and he's going to be interviewed with CNN, and they're going to feature my first book, Underwater Acts of Kindness, for the Great Pacific Garbage Patch that we dedicated to Boynton Sled. So I know we normally show these videos, so thank you so much for allowing us to do that. I know Sue and Kurt have commitments today, and want to roll it over to Anthony. We're working on some flyers with Anthony, and Anthony is taken away with the Acts of Kindness series.
Yeah, Anthony, we do want to hear about that. And then I don't know if you and Mark, I believe you work together, the two of you. So I don't know if you want to do sort of a joint explanation or what. But Anthony, yes, tell us about
Yeah,
the.
Mark often asks me to step in and speak for him. He has a lot of trouble really conveying what he's trying to say. But just this once, we're going to go ahead and give Mark the floor. And Mark, do your best. And if you need a little help, just wiggle your ear and I'll step back in.
I don't know, man. I'm really shy, Anthony. I don't even know if I could speak today. Maybe I'll let Maury speak for me, but I'm really shy. But so maybe I'll pass it back over to you, Anthony. Here you go. I'll do a little Carol Burnett for you.
You're going to
Can you
take
leave
over
us?
again, Anthony? You guys are.
Or we could
Excuse
just
me.
let Marianne keep talking. Go ahead, Marianne. You do better. You're better at promoting us than we are. Go ahead. You talk about everybody better than we do, so we should just let you take the.
Since we have Anthony on here, I do have some questions up with follow-up. Can you tell us what kind of feedback you're getting with showcasing the Acts of Kindness series? Are you getting followers? Good reviews? Are they asking for more? What's next? Because whale watching season will be in December, and we're gonna upload Underwater Acts of Kindness too. So can you give us some demographics, statistics of what's happening in Texas and Denny's restaurants?
Yeah, I can. I mean, every week we're putting it in front of 350,000 people from Dallas on down here in Texas. We don't have people standing at the door asking people, hey, did you see that spot or not? So, we don't have demographics. This is real world, not online. The streaming side is where you can get more on that. But no, anyway, it gets in front of a lot of people. I think we ran the book download for you, and hopefully some people saw that. So, I can get people to see things if they like what they see and they're tempted by the offer, whatever it is, they'll go check it out further. So, that's what I do. I build a platform to put you in front of people and, hopefully shape your message to where it's going to be effective. If you're a nonprofit, you don't really have to pay for this outside, maybe heavy production. If you're a sponsor, you go along for the ride, reaching that community, but it's not free, but it's close to it. It's some of the best rates in the industry as far as reaching people. So anyway, that's a little bit about how it works.
Very good. Okay, Mark, you gonna get out of your shell there? You're muted, so you're safe. You can say whatever you want.
Well, I'd just like to share too, we had a really good meeting with Mark and Zach Clayton and Kurt Roscoff as well. Zach Clayton has done so much to promote veterans fundraisers, marathons at Christmas, and so we had a great meeting. He's doing it again. Zach Clayton is paying it forward. He's having a chili cook-off in Denver in November for 4 children's hospitals. So people go into the cook-off. If they bring a gift, it's $5. A gift is a book or a game. Is what they're requesting. And then if not, it's $10. So we had a meeting in regards to getting sponsors to purchase the Acts of Kindness series books and coloring books to bring to these 4 different hospitals, and the kids can watch the YouTube channels. And we want the hospital staff to participate as well, learning sign language, such as I'm thirsty, I'm hungry, change my diapers, or I need to go to the bathroom, nurse. And so we're being creative, but this is reality of how it can help everybody with basic finger spelling alphabet that you can learn on the YouTube channel. There is no sound so that people can focus, but you can meet the characters and like and subscribe, and we need to get that out there. So we have good activities, and we're looking forward to having a follow-up meeting with Zach Clayton and Mark next week, because Mark can help him and his businesses. So I don't know, Mark, you want to tell us how you're helping businesses become on your network, and how many people are on there? Tell us a little bit more about your networks, Mark.
You're on mute, Mark.
On mute. That's why I take myself off
There
of
you
mute.
go.
You guys put me on mute. So here I am. You guys keep taking me off of mute and putting me on mute. So whatever you want to do. So yeah. So I was asked to Sue to come to this meeting today. Um, Anamark TV reaches, right now about 500 million people. It'll be about 750 million people because we broadcast on multiple streaming networks, including Whale TV Plus, which puts us on 400 brands of television across 3 continents. They're now coming to the U.S., which will put us over 750 million people. We broadcast on Easy Way Net TV Network, Nonprofit TV, iDream TV, and we broadcast on Limax. We broadcast on Streaming Pulse. We broadcast on a lot of networks because the godmother of streaming television, Maureen Cooper, built our networks to be like that. And we help you get your brand out there. And if you're part of the Roscoff family, the part of the Beacons of Light, part of the John McNamara and Jason McNamara of 9 to 5, and anybody part of this group, anybody that it comes part of the Kurt Roscoff family, you can only pay $100 a month to get 4 30-minute shows on television and get your brand out there, get your visibility out there, and get seen by many people. So if you're interested in that, contact me on LinkedIn, Facebook, or right here. And you see my numbers and if you want to be on television, I'm your person. Thank you.
Okay, don't mute yourself because I have a question here. And then
Sure.
hopefully you'll discuss this a little bit. So, Project Die Hard, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit because I actually went to visit it a month ago, 6 weeks. But just using them as an example, I know that they're one of your, I guess, clients, but they're a nonprofit. So what exactly do they get from you? Is that a logical?
Well, that's funny you asked that because Brian Gibson and me were on the phone for about an hour and a half to 2 hours this morning. I'm not only not only do I help Brian, I'm also on his board of directors, so it's a little more than that. Brian, I just invited Brian out to Lexington. Brian lives in Paducah. He went up to Lexington, Kentucky to enjoy the Midget Wrestling All Stars that I'm partners with, the Little Mania Midget Wrestling. Also, he got to go up to Lexington, Kentucky, and watch the Wrestling All Stars. He also got to visit a dealership up there where now he's working on getting a Harley custom built, a Project Die Hard custom built Harley. They're going to start building it by the end of January. So we're going to start selling raffle tickets to raise money for the facility. He has a facility in Illinois that we're building on and projecting for, so we can help local veterans. He also does a breakfast event every month in Paducah, Kentucky. Me and Brian work together. We also do Project Die Hard on Mondays, every Monday with Sue Roscoff as our guest. She's our host. So I work directly with Brian Gibson a lot. So yes, he's a good dude.
So do you do, I guess this is what I'm not sure about. So if you pay the $100, then you
He
get
doesn't.
four,
Yeah, go
what?
ahead. Yeah. Okay, let me explain. All right, let me explain
Okay,
$100. There's three
okay,
ways to be part of Anamark TV. The first way is if you're a nonprofit, you don't pay anything to drop 1 minute ads on a nonprofit TV with Anthony Sorelli. And Anthony Sorelli used
okay,
to have 60 televisions in Texas, and now we made him worldwide. So now he went from 60 televisions in Texas to 500 million viewers across the globe. He
okay,
has his own iVod channel, and he also is piggybacking with me on my Roku channel. So Anthony's now being seen by over 500 million people. If you want, as a person yourself, if you own your own business, all right, if you're selling a product, you own your own business, or you just want to show on the Mark TV, okay, then it's only $100 for 4 shows a month to be on the Mark TV. If
okay,
you have a product that you sell, that you own the business, Okay, and or you have permission from the owner of the business to sell their product. I can become your global affiliate network starting at 10%, so I become your super downline. So there's multiple ways to make money, and none of them really cost a lot. Obviously, $100 for 4 30-minute shows is obscene. Some people call me stupid. I just call me supportive. I want to help entrepreneurs get their brand out there and be more visible, because if nobody knows who you are, do you matter?
Right.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. So just a little bit about Project Die Hard that Mark was talking about. I actually went to the breakfast in September while I was in Paducah. That was myself and another fellow have been talking about starting the breakfast here in Tucson, Arizona. So we wanted to see up close and personal what that was about. They had, I think, around 35 people there, veterans, some veterans' wives, and they have it the first Wednesday of every month. One of the things that I like about Brian Gibson's vision is that he would like to have it in a Project Die Hard in every single state. And whoops, what happened? Okay, well, we're not recording anymore. And so, sorry, that threw me off. That every single location would have their breakfast, preferably at an IHOP, which is where it is in Paducah. And it would always be the first Wednesday of the month from 7 to 9:30 a.m. So that if a veteran wanted that camaraderie and was traveling, they would know that they could find out where the nearest one was to where they were traveling. And they would know that it was going to be at that same time. Obviously, a lot of places have more than one IHOP, which we do here in Tucson. But then the other part of Project Die Hard is that they do have a physical location that was donated to them. It's in Makanda, Illinois, which is about an hour from Paducah, unless you know the shortcut like Brian does, and he gets there, he says, in 35 minutes. But by taking the back roads that are too difficult to explain to people like us that were new to the area. But anyway, it's a beautiful 20 acres. It does have a very large physical facility, and he does have the plans already drawn up for that so that it will feed and clothe. And he has it set up so that there's actually two family like apartments, and that can have like 4 people each. And so it could have veterans that needed help, both husband and wife were veterans or one or the other. And then also 12 individual beds, not 12 individual bedrooms, but so that's, he wants to have training there and so forth. So he's got a great vision for that. He's obviously looking for money to support that. So that's that. So John, would you like to tell something about yourself?
Yeah, sure. And it's kind of cool to see Maury here. Kurt was just talking about him yesterday. We probably do some very complementary work. Well, I'm a neuroplastician. It was a program I developed at the request of the military back in 2007. 2 goals. One was to improve warfighting by improving intuition, faster critical decision making under stress, and focus, and also accelerate recovery from post-traumatic stress, the wounds of war. So after many years, Navy SEALs, snipers, pilots, worked with all those guys. All of them, if they deployed several times, are also suffering from, the effects of post-traumatic stress. So phenomenal results with them. And now in the civilian sector, I get to work with all areas. I work with professional athletes, a lot of entrepreneurs. They've got a lot of pressure. They've got to get things done better, faster. I work with a lot of athletes, including professionals. And then on the other recovery side, we've had phenomenal success recently with autism kids, and an adult 20-year-old who went from nonverbal to a chatterbox, as Dad said, after just an hour or two. So it's all, and again, a lot of vets. So basically, the program is very simple. It's non-digital, and it's basically symbols on a piece of paper. It's the simplest thing you've ever seen, but it trains the brain to make decisions critical to executive function very quickly. And the way our brains work is we give it something simple to do and make it work hard. It changes very fast. So that's kind of what I do. And again, I work with everyone, basically, from professionals. And I'm really interested in learning more about Maury's method. I think we work with similar people. It sounds like he's got some incredible stuff going on there as well. So Mark, I haven't met Precious yet, or Deb or Debbie, but I really enjoy these kind of drop-in events on Saturdays. I was late and I probably have to leave a little early, but it's just a great event that Kurt's put together.
Yes, and make sure that you put your contact information in the chat, please.
Sure.
So can we get Bruce down here on, oh boy, Emily, I wonder if Emily's around to do that. I always ask her to do stuff on my podcast. Bruce? Can we hear from you? All right. So Bruce probably stepped away for a minute. So I was hoping he would go before me, see. So I do a couple things. I do the World of Pets podcast on YouTube. It's live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific. And we talk all things about animals. Last week, I lost my dog recently, and last week I talked about that. And I only used one Kleenex, so that was pretty good. But we've talked about all different types of pets. We had a lawyer on there talking about if you want to leave money to make sure that your pet is taken care of, or designate who gets the pets and so forth. What are the ins and outs of doing that? Because when you think about it, some people I would have probably thought, oh, I just put, okay, I want Fido to go to blah, blah, blah. But then Fido can't have a bank account, so it doesn't matter that I'm leaving him money, right? So you've got to think these things through so that you make sure that if you are leaving something for a pet, that that you've got the right channels going so that the pet can benefit, even though they can't have their own bank account. And I also have a channel on the Great Discovery called Pets and Animals. And I also market pet products that are healthy. So actually, I'll put my own information in the chat. I did put information in the chat about a entrepreneur summit that is going to be held by people from the Great Discovery. I'm going to talk about the Coriolis versicolored mushroom, which is in the pet products, a number of the pet products that I talk about or that I sell. So, but various, not all of it is animals. That's probably the only thing that has to do with pets. So that's me. And Bruce, are you back? Maybe Bruce just wants to.
Bird guy.
Hi. Can you tell us what you do? Bird guy.
If you work with pets and he works with birds, maybe there's some synergy there.
Yep. Okay, we'll come back to him. I'm sorry. Okay, Precious, we went on for quite a while, but we really want to hear the end of your story. So you got, I believe, are you available?
I guess I'm here.
Okay. So I'm trying to think, you were out of the shelter into an apartment at this point, right?
Yeah.
And you were still doing HR.
Yep.
But you were featured in Dress for Success, or on the Lane Bryant magazine, you said.
Yeah.
Nice.
Was that in conjunction with Dress for Success or no?
Yes.
Okay. And
Yeah.
Dress for Success, if you don't know, if somebody listening does not know, is an organization that accepts donation, and it is strictly for women, but for professional attire, so that when someone goes to a job interview, they are Dress for Success.
Cool.
That's
Go ahead,
correct.
Precious.
Oh my goodness, I feel embarrassed because I didn't realize it was the format. So I apologize if I've
No,
overstepped.
you didn't. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure that other people had time in case they had to leave.
Okay. Well, so I guess the finish line. Let's talk about the finish line. So I was working at this school and as the HR manager, and I wound up the school. I was losing their leader, and I wound up working with the kids to come up with a program so the kids can just talk. And so HR Boutique, the pink that you see in the background is for youth, and the boutique is for strategy. And so I work with the youth. I help them find job placements, and I also work with adults, helping them find job placements. But HR Boutique is now a strategic staffing agency helping place talent within your organization. I'm able to come in and do audits and help you get compliant. And I said all of that story to tell you that anything is possible, even with disabilities. Anything is possible. And so HR Boutique now is leading the chart around workplace abuse, and then also working with other HR professionals to develop a networking group, and also just in the community, working with domestic violence survivors that need support around employment. And that is my amazing story that I wanted to share to the world of ability.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Precious? All right, we really appreciate you being
Comments
on.
or anything?
Yeah.
What? Marianne, you're muted.
Congratulations on all your work. That's amazing.
Thank
And
you.
sharing the good news because you are the messenger.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So
I'm not sure if everyone is a business owner or, but if you are looking to grow and you're looking to hire your first talent, I think it's really important to have an HR consultant or like a fractional HR consultant who's able to help you navigate some legal challenges that may arrive with hiring. There's certain things that you have to do to not to not be in any legal trouble when it comes to employees. So even if you are not ready to hire, it's good. If you think you will hire within the next year, it's good to have someone on your team to kind of help you develop your strategy around hiring because it could be costly. So I would say that.
Okay, so, okay, I'm sorry. I was putting my own information in the chat, so I might have been concentrating on that. But so is your the HR business, the length that you gave us, that's
Yeah.
your business.
Yes.
So so are
Uh-huh.
you totally self-employed now, or do you still work for other HR as well?
No, so I'm totally self-employed. HR Boutique was born in November of 2023, so almost 2 years. So I think I shared my story so that you all could see the impact that I'm trying to create with HR Boutique. I do have a networking group that I'm growing with HR Boutique.
Nice.
Thank you.
Very good. Okay. Does anybody else have anything they would like to add? We have another 45 minutes and I really need to go shortly. Marianne, has the
Is it?
hurricane hit? Has the hurricane hit yet?
Oh,
I know it's really odd. You know what's really odd? I live in southern Arizona, so like pretty much north of her, and yet they're saying there's one county between me and the Mexican border, which is a really tiny county, but they're saying it's going to get hit, but they're not saying we're going to get hit. I I still think we're probably going to get a lot of rain up here, but we're not going to get anywhere near as much as what Marianne's going to get. And
Be safe.
Marianne, oh, you took yourself off mute for a minute. Or can you take over?
I don't want to. I'm in a position where I gotta be taking care of things here. I'm here to listen if Bruce and Leon come on, but I'm sorry, I'm not in a position to facilitate for everybody.
Okay.
I'm moving things, I'm moving furniture. I felt a raindrop. I got things that my hands are busy. So if you want to continue, or we can agree that we can end the show, we can do that also too. So it's
Yeah,
up to everybody else.
I do have to go within the next 10 minutes at least.
Me too.
Okay, well, let's
Okay.
end the show at 12:30. So let's continue the conversation. We'll see if Bruce joins us and Leon joins us. I'll contact them right now, and then thank you so
Oh,
much for everybody's
Wait a minute,
time.
Marianne, Bruce,
Raindrops keep falling on my head.
yeah, Marianne, Bruce was on already for a few minutes, but we couldn't get his
But he
audio.
didn't speak, Emily.
Yeah, no, that's why I said he couldn't get his audio to work, but he was on for a few minutes.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I guess no one
take-
sees my hand up for the last 10 minutes. I'm happy to
Oh,
say
geez,
something.
I'm sorry.
I was
Sorry,
trying to be
Marty.
polite. Being the Canadian in the group, I didn't want to be pushy, but at some point, you got to force yourself on people, I suppose.
Right.
So I will just mention, first of all, this was very interesting. Precious, you have a very powerful, interesting story.
Thank you.
If you don't already have a book about that story, I think you should. Keep in mind when you tell the story, if I could give you a little helpful advice, an older guy to a younger woman, when you tell your story, go more for the points and less for the detail.
Okay.
That's not that the detail is a problem. Detail is good in a book, but in a live presentation, it can go on a little.
Okay.
And
Thank
I'm
you.
speaking from experience because I have a yakety yak mouth that never stops. So,
No,
so I hope you take it in the right way. Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Sure.
You learn.
Yeah, well, people told me too, so I'm just trying to share the knowledge.
Right.
So basically, what I do is I'm a neuroscientist. I love neuroplastician, by the way, John.
Yeah,
That
you
is
like
a
that?
beautiful term. Yeah, I love that very much. So, unlike you, though, I don't have a brain that helps people. I have a brain that creates products that allow people to help themselves. Because if I try to give advice, I'm going to screw them up royally. So my work is more creating products that are like exercise equipment for the brain, for the neurons, for the
Yeah,
mind.
right.
And then that work does its own stuff and inspires people to act on their own. I currently have about 40 products. I'm
Wow.
working on 50 others, which I
Wow.
almost never get to anymore because I'm always getting new ideas. And because of techniques I've developed recently, I'm able to solve issues with new ideas almost instantly.
Cool.
So normally I would put something to work on a list, and then I would go through the whole list. But lately, the last 10 things I've come up with, I've been able to solve the issues literally within seconds of thinking of them. And that stops me from going after some of the older things that I've been wanting to work on.
Right.
Basically, you put on a pair of headphones, you close your eyes, you have a nap for half an hour every day. That's all you have to do with my work. There's nothing to read, nothing to
Nice.
study, nothing to judge. You just put on the headphones, close your eyes, have a nap. It's pretty impressive, the power of your mind and the power of your brain.
Yeah.
I think
Oh, yeah.
everybody's story shows just how powerful their brain really is and how powerful their mind is. And the last thing I'll say is that I'm not looking for anyone to buy any of my stuff. That's not why I'm saying it. I'm actually looking for people who have contacts and connections with influencers, large corporate clients. I have major doctors and clinicians using my work for Alzheimer's disease, PTSD, depression, anxiety. I have a program called Common Clarity, which is a series of recordings that we give to first responders and veterans at no cost, because I want to give back to these people. I didn't have a lot of, I mean, I guess a lot of veterans did help me indirectly, but more when I was younger, I was depressed for 40 years and I tried to kill myself a bunch of times. So I've had a lot of ambulance attendants, EMTs, doctors, nurses, hospitals, help me and never really got a proper thank you. So that's my way of giving back to them is to give them this stuff. And that's really about it. Yeah, go ahead, Precious, and I'll shut up now.
Oh
Try to
no,
what I
no, not
say.
at all. Not at all. I was just wondering because I did share about my car accident. Is the brain able to repair itself? Just like a soft tissue. Just would love to hear from about
Well,
that.
John can answer this more probably than I
Absolutely.
can, but go ahead, John.
Go ahead, Warren. No, so yeah, it does. Our brains change the day we die, and we can do certain things to actually create neurogenesis, so we create new neurons. And but the principle is whatever you repeat is where the ruts form. And so I'm really excited about Maury's program because I think I know how to take a nap. If I can improve myself in 30 minutes, that's pretty cool. But yeah, and that's kind of where my program is. We're basically retraining the brain to rewire to do what it needs to do, and it rewires around damage and makes a huge impact very quickly.
I didn't know if like the sciences can tell like if a brain had like traumatic brain injury and then if it could repair itself. Like,
There's lots of cases of that happening.
Yeah.
It's kind of like your GPS when you're driving and there's construction or a rock slide and it blocks a route. The brain
mhm.
can create an alternate route for that information, even if the area is damaged. So in most cases, the brain can do it. A lot of doctors will say, no, it doesn't happen. I remember when I was a kid, they said after 3 years old, your brain is the size it's going to be. And if you have a puff on a cigarette, that's 3 million brain cells dead and they're never coming back. But now they know it's different. We produce new brain cells all the time, right up until the day we die. One of the things that's important for people to remember is that at a very young age and at a very old age, human brains need fat more important. I mean, they need it all the time, but they need fat. I had a client who had a daughter and they started her on a vegan diet from the day she was born.
Mhm.
And by the time she was 14, she was having 25 seizures a day.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Wow.
Yeah. People need to be careful. We need fat for our brains to function properly. That doesn't mean you pig out and you weigh like 500 pounds, but it
Right.
does mean that you need to have some fatty foods in your diet, like oils and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Omega
And
3s, you need that stuff.
you need cholesterol too. The whole
Right.
it's a scam to get you on medication to worry about your cholesterol because our brains are, what is it, 75% myelin, right? And that's 100% cholesterol. So what they find is people that go on these statins and they have brain issues and they say, oh, you're just getting old. No, you're creating those brain issues because you're depriving the brain of the cholesterol it needs to repair and
Yeah.
to grow.
Yeah, listen to what John says. He knows what he's talking about. So many times we get told by the supposed expert something. The problem with medicine today isn't that it's not good, it's fantastic. But the problem is that when people are taught medicine, they're taught that if you don't know this, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
In other words, if
Right.
we don't have a cure for it, it doesn't exist. That's not true. Lots of people have self-healed from all kinds of horrible things.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's because they were misdiagnosed in the first place. They never had it in the first place. But
Yeah.
other times they actually had it. My wife's uncle, before he died, like about 20 years before, was diagnosed with stomach cancer. No one told him. His wife left him. There was a war in his country. So he ended up eating fresh vegetables because he didn't know how to cook and all he had was a garden. So he ate fresh vegetables all the time. And when he got checked after the war, his stomach cancer was gone.
That's great.
So,
Yeah.
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 So
Well, that mushroom, the Coriolis versicolor mushroom that's in the products, and we do, even though it's a pet company, we do have products for humans as well. And they do allow the body to heal itself too in the same way. And John,
Right.
I have a question for you because I just had my blood work done a week ago, and my cholesterol was what they call high, but it didn't look like all all that much above the average to me. I mean, the numbers that what do you think about the numbers that they put out when they try to make it sound like, oh,
Yeah, that's to sell statins. Basically, your cholesterol should be your age plus 100. And
okay,
as we get
somebody told me that.
older, yeah,
Okay.
and as we get older, we need more cholesterol. The healthiest people die with the highest cholesterol ratings.
Okay.
It's not the cholesterol that's the problem.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh
you're
yeah, they
very-
want, oh yeah. She was like, well, we want you on statins. I said, well, that's not going to happen.
No, don't do that.
Sorry.
Typically in medical, unfortunately, and kind of what Maury was alluding to, is that they don't study nutrition, they study how to fix things. And what I found with most medical, going all the way back to the COVID scam, is you got to follow the money trail and run the other way. Right?
I would
Wherever
agree with that.
something's leading, go the opposite way.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it was the same way with the blood pressure. I had an accident while I was in Paducah and hit my head and had to have it stitched up. And my blood pressure was high, and so it was like the last time when I went to the doctor a week ago or so, it was like 130. I'm like, he's like, you need to go, you need to stay on this blood pressure medicine that they diagnosed after the accident. And I'm like, I don't know, it used to, I didn't tell him this, but it used to be 140 was okay. And now mine is 130, but they wanted 120. Why is that? So they can sell more medicine?
Right. Oh, and I'm sorry. Yeah, I said cholesterol. It's actually your blood pressure, your age plus
No,
100.
it was both. No, this is both.
Yeah.
Two separate
Cholesterol,
issues.
Before, what was it, like 30, 40 years ago, before we had all the heart issues, the average cholesterol or normal cholesterol was 300 to 400. Right. It's only been when they've introduced, a way to sell drugs that they've dropped. I think they want it down around 200, which is ridiculous. That's
Yeah.
your brain needs cholesterol in your
Yeah.
system.
Thank
So
you for
blood pressure.
validating my opinion.
Yeah. Now, 100 plus your age is a good blood pressure for you.
Yeah, more of the
Oh,
research
shoot.
is showing that what's considered to be higher blood pressure isn't an indicator of heart or
Right.
stroke problems.
Right.
Whereas 20 years ago, that was the only indicator of heart or stroke
Wow.
problems.
Yeah. Okay, Emily, I've got to go. Leon just got on. Can you close it out?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks everybody for coming. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Debbie. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, Debbie.
We will talk again. Sorry, I didn't see your hand was raised, Maury, and I don't think it was 10 minutes. I think you exaggerated.
Actually, I had it up 3 different times over the span of 40
Oh,
minutes.
okay.
Yeah,
So when you
Thanks.
added it all together, it was about 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Precious,
Nah,
thank
nah,
you so
nah,
much.
nah.
You got me there.
Thank
All
you.
right. Yep. Okay. Hello and goodbye, Leon. I'm sorry I have to go, but you can have the floor right now.
Oh, no problem. All right.
Marianne got off. I think the hurricane's coming.
Yeah, she was having issues with the hurricane.
So welcome, Leon. What's new in your world of the Clean Water Foundation?
Yeah, we're down here in Hawaii working on this Coffee for a Cause Water for Children music project, and we're working with DC Shoots. They the guy who owns DC Shoots, he was one of the top video photographers and interviewers for CNN. So we're looking at doing this documentary music event with those guys, along with KHON TV2 in Hawaii. So yesterday we were in meetings to put this Coffee for a Cause Water for Children thing together that we're doing. We just delivered water units in Zambia, Africa. And they got those water units, so the kids at the school will have clean water there. And we're, like I said, working on doing a thing with a coffee company called Menahuni Coffee Company in Hawaii. They also have a restaurant next to the Hawaiian Hilton Village that's super beautiful. We were there last night, and that's where we're going to have our fundraising music event at. So things are going really well. Yeah, yeah. And we're working with Mariana. That's why I was going to let her know that when we do this show, they may put a plug in for her for the acts of kindness, and she has the books out. So, yep. But I know she may be caught in that hurricane, and I hope she's all right. I know she said that the bad weather was coming down there. It was some pretty bad weather.
It's a great place to be. You used to spend a lot of time in Hawaiian Village. So when I developed my program originally for the Marine Corps back in 2007, do you live in Hawaii, Leon?
No, I live in Seattle. I'm here
Oh,
until
okay.
Monday.
Because Kaneohe Bay, the Marine base, is where I was based for 3 years.
Oh,
in
wow.
Hawaii. So that was the best time of my life. Great place to live. So we got into Honolulu a lot, but beautiful beaches. Great place to live.
It is. It is. Like I said, I'm, glad I'm out of Seattle and glad that they were interested on doing a show with us with this
Yeah.
coffee because as you know, they got the Kona coffee, some of the best coffee in the world.
Right.
And we're working with the farmers here in Hawaii to do this coffee for a cause, water for children thing.
That's great.
So and at the same time, enjoy the beautiful beaches.
Oh yeah.
So it's a work vacation.
Yeah, if you got time, take a drive up the coast. It's beautiful up there. You can almost go all the way around the island, except there's one spot where the roads are wiped out from lava. But
oh wow,
yeah, 9/10 of the way around the island you can drive. But so if you got a chance to take a drive around, it's beautiful. It's
I'll
not that
probably check out that Dole Plantation on the North Shore.
Yeah, over on the Big Island. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's where it's grown.
So pretty cool. So had a really great time, and I'm still here till Monday. So, but things are going really, really well.
That's great. It's a great time. I also have to hop off. I wanted a couple more minutes just to say goodbye, everybody. Sue and Kurt, really appreciate putting this whole thing together, and I look forward to this on Saturdays. So as I said, it's great to hang out. The only thing that's missing is a barbecue and a beer, right?
That's it.
Oh, you all have a wonderful weekend or weekend. See you next week.
You guys too, and hopefully we'll pray that Marianne is safe.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm gonna hop off too. So Emily, sorry. Hopefully you and Sue or Leon are ready to go. It's been great to see her and meet everybody. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Debbie.
Yeah, bye.
All right. I'm getting ready to hit it too. But I just wanted to come on real quick to say hello to everyone. So I'll see everybody next time for sure.
Sounds good. Thanks, Leon.
All right. Talk to you later.
Thank you so much, Leon. We literally just hopped in here. We appreciate you.
Oh yeah. Everything's going great, Sue. So we'll definitely talk soon, and I'll keep you updated on the latest what we're doing. But things in Hawaii is going super well, and I wanted to let Mariana know that we're working with KHON TV2. We were with them yesterday, as I stated before, to put a show together here, and they're really excited about it. And I'll keep you guys updated too on that.
Excellent. That sounds wonderful.
All right. Well, you guys have a great, great day, and I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Leon. We'll look forward to more good news soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care. Yeah, so it sounds like it's been quite a show here today. I know we are just getting back on here. We've had we've had a whirlwind sort of a day here. So thank you so much, Emily, for keeping the live stream going. And we've had a good number of wonderful people joining us here today for World of Ability. Just thinking back here, where we all started today. So it's worth mentioning, we were just at an event with Plowshare. So Plowshare, how would you describe Plowshare? What's the definition of what that organization is?
That is, it's like with Fair Trade Marketplace.
There we go, Fair Trade Marketplace. they had a volunteer recognition event, and we were able to stop in just super briefly here, and that was worthwhile. The person that's in charge of a lot of what happens at Plowshare and with the education committee and whatnot, there was there's things in the works now. We do have, I think Kurt's going to be a speaker for their organization here coming up soon. And look who's here! What a great timing you've got. I love this. Santa Papa John is in the house. How you doing, Santa?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing great. You and I have good timing. I've been on here for all of about 2 minutes, and everybody that was here was just hopping off, and you and I are tag teaming in.
There you go. Perfect timing. Awesome. How
I
goes
love
the
it.
battle today? I seen in your post there, your little text that you sent me, you got a busy day today.
It's been crazy. This is the first, I think I've gotten about 2 sentences in so far. That's all we've been here for. We started out the day with a friends and family rugby event for Alana, and I've got my rugby sweatshirt on here for her. So that was the morning. That was a big event celebrating the seniors so much with what their organizational does. And then we stopped in. We had our next door neighbor. We've lived next to them now since 2001, and he had a funeral and everything is today. So we stopped in to give some big hugs to our neighbors. That was a tough one. He's one of those guys that can just pick up the accordion, hear a song, and he can play it. And
Really?
it never ceases to amaze me, the talent he had and the humble talent. And he made it. And then we just were down at a celebration event. Just now. Kurt volunteers with a group called Plowshare, and that's a unique organization. And it sounds like Kurt's going to be a speaker for them upcoming with a lot of things that he's doing. So now we're on our way to the 20. Actually, I should look this up. How many annual years it's been going on? We have a short tail relative that's doing a fall hike, and we're on our way to that now. So we'll be hiking a couple of miles out in the middle of the Ice Age Trail. So that's our crazy day, and then from there we still have 3 places to go for food tonight. So events
Yeah,
after
just a
event
little
today.
bit of a crazy day.
Unbelievable. Oh, and this, I gotta add one last piece. This after going to Rice Lake for a day. Went up Thursday night, came back last night. Because that's the other sad piece in the process here. I lost my aunt, my godmother. She passed away, and the visitation was last night. So got to go and see my cousins that I don't get to see ever. It's been a long time. So it's been a good weekend already of connecting and reconnecting, and not for some of those, you hate having that stuff, the cause being a funeral, but at the same time the chance to reconnect is priceless.
Yeah, I understand that concept for sure. We were doing that on Tuesday down in the cities, and yeah, it was we stopped over and we visited with some family as well, so that was good to catch up, because whenever we get down to the city, we're always go, and then tired, we got to go home. Oh, we should have stopped here, we should have stopped there. So this time we made sure we stopped there and here. So it was good, but it was a really long day for Becky, because I mean we were in the car for almost 14 hours.
Woo. That's a lot.
Yeah, it was, but it was good, and it was a nice day, and the roads were good, and the traffic wasn't too crazy, so that was a plus for the adventure anyway.
Excellent. So
And
What's new in
Wednesday
your
I
corner of the
started my,
world?
sorry?
I was just saying, what's new in your corner of the world? But you're just saying Wednesday. What did you do?
I started doing my story reading, which was on Be Connected. It's free for everybody from 7 till 8 o'clock. So hopefully this week I sent a whole bunch more invites. So hopefully we'll get, you know, Be Connect has challenged me to break the room capacity of Be Connected. So we'll see if we can get that happening. That'd be pretty awesome. So well, we got a long ways to go for that, but I started it earlier this year than I did last year. Last year we were up to about 25, 30 people every Wednesday night. So I only did about 6 nights last year, so now we've got 11. So I'm doubling my amount of readings that I'm going to do. So hopefully we'll get a few more people. So it'll be a lot of fun. And the kids get a chance to ask some questions between stories, and it brings out a lot of giggles and laughter.
So how do people connect to that?
They connect on Be Connected. There's links all over my sites and posters all over all my social media. And it's pretty simple. It's Santa Papa John at Be Connected, I believe, /meetings.
Perfect.
Oh,
Excellent. We'll see what we can do to get people there. I want to see you break. Be connected.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
wouldn't that-
Sue, I wanted to congratulate Santa because he got over 10,000 on TikTok.
No,
100,000.
100,000,
100,000.
Emily.
That's what I meant.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's huge.
100,000. Yeah.
Woohoo!
Thank you, Emily. Yeah, that was another big step forward. So yeah, there's
That's
some
a massive
adventures,
milestone.
and then last week as well, I booked almost 40 hours of Santa visits in a 3-day period. So that was pretty awesome for November and December.
That's
So
amazing.
pretty well, I've still got room on some Saturdays, but not very many, and lots of weekday evenings and stuff to do. So now it'll be pick and choose and fill in the gaps.
That sounds so much fun, and oh my gosh. So who has more fun at those, you or the kids?
It depends on the kids, but I definitely have a lot of fun doing it.
That's
And then of
perfect.
course
You know,
Sundays, all Sundays, six Sundays in a row, I do nothing but photographers. I start off with the resort in the morning. I do one of the big resorts here around Brainerd. I do 2 hours at the resort, and then I do about 8 or 10 hours at a photography studio each Sunday after that. So that tends to make for a long day. And there's Marianne joining us.
Hi. So if you can see here, that's what we're going to be expecting. Not one, but two hurricanes.
Oh, doesn't that sound
Priscilla
exciting?
and then Rodney's a direct hit. So, and it should be affecting 6 states is what they say. So the first hour of the show, I did something different. I actually floated in my pool listening to you guys and speaking. How about that?
There
Got to
you
get my
go.
exercise in. Got to get my exercise in because it's going to rain, rain, rain.
Yep,
So,
absolutely.
and Leon's in Waikiki. He met with Bruce, the bird guy. And so I thought they could join us. I don't know. Bruce had some technical difficulties there, but I know he was with my friend Bob Sue in Vegas, and we know what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But he was
Oh
in
yeah.
Waikiki with the bird guy. So you got to talk story, brothers. So they got to talk story, and we'll hear about it. He met with Lori Barth, the editor too. So and some other friends made me homesick, but this is where we are. And we got it going on with nonprofit TV. We had World Mental Health Day on Friday. We gave a free ebook away, and we also had meetings with Zach Clayton this week to help promote his chili cook-off in November with the Acts of Kindness series to 4 different hospitals in Denver. So on the Mark TV, we were on the mark, on the ball, going to have another follow-up meeting. And that's what we've been up to. And I'm just looking at my counter here. I got a bunch of sunglass cases from the thrift store. So when it rains and pours and if our electricity goes out, I'm gonna be organizing my sunglasses. I'm just putting my to-do list to keep me busy here. Darlene's no longer here. She went back to Arizona. So just kind of prepping and got some food and we may not have football tomorrow either. So anyway, that's what we're up to. The boat's anchored. Captain is in. Daughter got married today. He is in North Carolina. So prayers for the boaters out there. And it's on a mooring ball. That's all I can tell you. So I was in
Oh,
Hurricane
really?
K with him when we first came over here 3 years ago. So and I've been in hurricanes with him in Maui and stuff. But anyway, I got a pool outside my door, and I'm just gonna have fun, relax. I had the massage therapist come over yesterday, and yeah, that's what's going on.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yep,
You'll have
that's
to
what's
keep
going
us
on.
informed on how bad the hurricane gets and how it affects you. And hopefully you stay safe and you've got all your supplies. So if you lose power for hopefully not very long, that you're not going to be affected and lose power for a couple days. But hopefully
Yeah.
if you lose power, it's only momentarily and you'll be able to carry on.
Yeah, well, we're the ones that keep it on. It's the other people that really live on the Bahia, and it's the flooding, Santa. People don't. It's not just people go, oh, it missed us. It's not a matter of that. It's the after effects.
Oh,
It's the
yes,
electricity.
absolutely.
It's the contamination of the water. And now what we're experiencing is the flooding and people being on their cars or on their roofs. And so I have all the pool toys out in order. So if we need to rescue anybody, Carla got her sailboat out of the water 2 weeks ago. She came back and had a mud bath, okay, on her patio. Her brand new, we helped her with the patio and tiles. So
Really?
it's messy. And, there was a water truck by the hospital that had water up to the tires. My landlord sent it. So those are the things you got to think about with people. And I was able to, with Chat GPT, I translated, emergency, just what I was just telling you into Spanish and sending it to my neighbors, showing my neighbors to read it. So, have tools in your car if you need to break out somebody out of their car to rescue them in the flooding. I mean, we saw what happened with the floods with the children's camp, and I saw on TV that these people swam out to rescue a grandma and the two kids. Well, the two kids were too small to swim, so they were smart enough to get a garbage can and swam out with a garbage can and put the two kids in and swam them back to land and rescued them. And grandma
Wow, that's
swam.
smart thinking.
I know. So I brought this to captain's attention and I'm bringing it to my neighbors. I said, don't think twice. Don't think I'm crazy, but this has saved lives. And yeah, so you never know to think about that. Also too, with people with insulin, medications. So
Yep, very important.
all those things, and this is a public service announcement. This is a public service announcement about Marion of Waikiki. And Leon's doing a public service announcement. CNN is interviewing him in Honolulu and for the Coffee with the Cause, and they're gonna with my book Underwater Acts of Kindness of the Garbage Patch. And so all those things we thought about, our wishes, we're checking them twice, and things are happening. And it was kind of funny. My landlord came to me too and showed me a new bedroom set with a king size bed and a mattress. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is this for me? Maybe Christmas? I don't know. I'm getting a new refrigerator though too. How about that, Santa?
That'd be kind of awesome.
Yeah, I got it going on here. I'm serious. I got the pool outside my door. I love it. So,
Got a landlord that takes care of you too, which is a big thing.
oh yeah, yeah. No, they love me. So, and I've been here for 3 years, and it's great. Senior living 55, but yeah, I don't have to cut grass. I don't. Yeah, don't say I get bored. Okay, don't say I don't. But sometime, So Darlene's not here. She went back. So I usually walk to the pharmacy and shop with her. So we have good times. But we'll be in contact, and I have Dale will be coming down here. I went and looked for an apartment for him with my hair salon lady. It's an Airbnb. It's gorgeous with a pool. And so he'll be returning, and we're also gonna create some stuff. So I got projects, but right now I'm just letting my brain just not think for a while. It's weird, but anyway, I do. I overthought. I went and played cards this week with the ladies too. So that was a lot of mental thought and counting, heart, hand and foot. So and then we had a meeting with Zach Clayton. So I came home, I was kind of exhausted, and I'm like, wow, yeah, you need, and but it was good because it was conversations that matter with the ladies in the community and
Yep.
things, need to know. And they built a new hospital down here, which is accepting US Medicare and on Canadian insurances. But but then there's been some downfall with the banks, well, America, I don't want to go into it. I don't have them, but their homeowners down here are gonna have some challenges. So they closed some of the banks with ATMs too. So anyway, I'm grateful what I have. So,
There you go. Awesome. Awesome. Good stuff.
and
Good.
nonprofit TV is showcasing the book Santa Papa John, and they have 350,000 followers, I guess. So I guess, it's getting out there. So there you go. I'm as happy with that. And I'm
That's good
telling you, it
stuff.
is it's humid here. It's humid.
And we got 65 and sunny in Minnesota. And that's warmed up because we were in the 40s this morning. What about you, Sue? You got some cool weather happening over there?
Yeah, we are at 61.
There you go. We were down into the upper 20s over last weekend. We had a really cold spell come through. Considering 4 days before that, we hit 88 degrees.
Oh, that's when it's hard when you've got that big switch like that. That's like, how do you do it? That's hard on
Yeah.
the system.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
So Santa, I've got a quick question for you.
Okay.
So when you do your Wednesday night sessions, do you have different books you do each week, or do you have your same few that are favorites?
Oh
or
no,
how do
no.
you do it?
I do custom created stories made by me and AI.
Oh my gosh, how cool is that?
So the stories do not repeat.
Wow. So it's different every time. Oh, I love it. Very cool.
Yep. Yeah, different every time. And there's fun little stories that I've helped create with AI to make them unique so that I don't have to, like when I'm doing other stuff, I don't have to worry about, geez, that belongs to someone else. Now I got to pay them royalties and this, that, and everything else.
There you go. That's didn't even think of that, but that makes total sense. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's actually when we do Shakedown. A lot of times I'm using the AI created music there too, because same thing when we're rebroadcasting that on Facebook or on YouTube, we get flagged because you can't use copyrighted music. But if it's AI, you're
Yep.
good to go.
That's right.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah. I can send you a link for, I've got a website that's got, I don't know, 1 million songs that are copyright free.
Ooh, yes,
So you
please.
can, and they have different choices of music as well. So you can pick and choose. Like they've got some military, they've got Christmas, they've got festive, they've got summer. They've got all different kinds of music that is royalty free, so you can use it. Because I have the same problem, and it's funny how I'm putting a video on 10 different platforms, and 9 out of 10 are saying okay, and one says no, we're muting that video.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like how, why? Come on.
Yeah, no
Yep.
kidding.
No, I get it.
Especially like YouTube or one time YouTube will be fine. The next time TikTok says, nope, we can't use that. But yet you go onto the TikTok and someone else is using that exact same song. But I didn't use it from their platform.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
all those pieces. Yeah, and often we learn the hard way and how to make that all work. And yep.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Like when all these new videos that people are putting on TikTok and they're using all the top 40 bits of some of the songs, I do the same thing. Nope, mine get muted because I'm not using their platform to put the music in.
Oh, wow.
Rules and
Got it.
regulations, learning the hard, like you say, we all learned the hard way about doing different things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I know we're coming up to the end here, but I do want to make sure. What time again on Wednesday nights are you
7 o'clock Central. And check out all my social media. There's going to be all kinds of different posts about the link to get on there on Be Connected, and it is totally free from 7 to 8.
Perfect.
So all you got to do is bring your own hot cocoa and cookies and sit back and enjoy some readings.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much. I'm glad to know that that's already starting. You get your taste of Christmas coming on now. And Marianne, I'm gonna double check with you too. Any last words?
Cocoa and cookies sound good.
I know. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be perfect. Oh, Wednesday night. So
Yeah,
Wednesday
no,
at 7.
it's all good. So again, October is anti-bullying month, and you can check out the YouTube channels, Apple App Games. So go out and play is our tagline. And I got a new tagline, Sue, for a maternity line. So go out and glow.
Oh, cute.
So
Awesome.
hopefully I'm making some designs on Chat GPT. So again, we'll be following up with Dan Barrett with Inspire World and baby sign clothing line. Hopefully maternity. And there's Dan there. And maternity as well as hospital scrubs. So we got good things happening. Santa, we're gonna have Zell Clayton. He's got a chili cook-off in November. We have a meeting with him about getting sponsors to get the Acts of Kindness book series there to purchase. Because if you go to the event, you pay $5 if you bring a gift or a book or a game. And so Mark is helping us at meetings at Clayton. So we had some wonderful productive meetings with your husband, Kurt Rostoff. So go out and play. Guys, have good fun. Thank you so much for a great week. I'll be on when I can. So we'll keep you updated. Adios.
Excellent.
All right.
Stay safe, Marianne. Thank you so
Everybody
much.
have a great
Santa Papa
weekend.
John. You too. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Have a great week. And for all of us here at World of Ability,